What is up, guys? It is your LOL support here, and today we're going to be bringing you a Riven guide. And the reason I wanted to start this video a little early in the loading screen is because I want to get over his or her abilities right now, so that when it gets into the game, I can describe more of the potential behind Riven, because Riven is a really complex champion, up there with like Lee Sin and people like those, who to play the champion is easy, but to master them is hard. And I wouldn't even say I've mastered her yet. There's a lot of things I don't know, but I want to get into her abilities a little early. So her passive is Runic Blade, and Riven's abilities, after you use them, will give her a charge of an augmented attack. And these do 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and 50% of her attack damage as she levels up, bonus on top of the basic attack. So that's why you'll see people Q, auto, Q, auto, Q, auto, E, auto, W, auto, things like that. So her Q is Broken Wings, and this is her really iconic ability. Whenever you think about Riven, you always think about all the dashes and everything that she does, and that's Broken Wings. And on each cast, these deal physical damage and a bonus 0.7 AD scaling, which is really good. And as of a recent patch, well, it's not recent, that recent, but her last activation of Q can actually jump over small barriers, as you see right here. You can jump over small walls in the jungle. You can jump over a fair amount of things on the league map. I recommend going into a custom game and just going around with Riven and just seeing which walls you can jump over. As far as tips and how to jump over the wall, I like to think right before I get to the wall, like I do track, so all I can think about is like the penultimate step. So the step right before she's gonna hit the wall, that's when I activate my Q, and that's given me a lot of success with my Qs. As far as jumping over walls. Her next ability is Ki Burst or Kai Burst or whatever you want to call it. And this is a very, very strong stun. It scales 100% with AD. And this is a automatic stun upon activation. And this is actually what helps you level 2 all in. I don't think I'm able to do it here because Lee Sin hits level 2 before I do. But a typical thing that I do is I try and hit level 2 before my other top laner. I'll flash in, stun, and auto attack, and then Broken Wings with auto attacks in between, and that's usually enough to get the first blood, and then ignite. That's a level 2 all in. And her Valor is her E ability, and this is her shield, which also scales 100% with AD. And this grants her a shield for 2.5 seconds. And it's a very strong shield once you have some CDR, because you end up having like a 500 damage shield every couple minutes, or not couple minutes, every couple seconds towards the mid to late game, if you're stacking a little bit of CDR, which you should get from Brutalizer and Kindle Gem. And her ultimate, Blade of the Exile. Now, this is a really different ultimate in that there's no special thing that comes with it, but it augments all the attacks. And also, when you activate your R, both times, whether it's to, right there you saw the flash and the stun for the all-in, but I saw the Sejuani coming in, so I had to leave. But each activation of her R is also considered a spell, and it will proc her passive. So keep this in mind when you're comboing with Riven, especially in like a one-on-one. So upon activation, you deal bonus physical damage on every one of your attacks, on your basic attacks, and also your Qs, I believe. And on second activation, it throws a wave of broken blades at your enemy, and this is an execute because it deals bonus damage every 1% of missing health on the enemy, and it caps out at 200 bonus damage and against enemies with 75% health or lower. So keep this in mind. You want to use this towards the end of the fight for optimal damage, but I mean, if some situations require you to use it at other times, don't feel bad about that. So, yeah, okay, so those are her abilities. Now, I want to get into a lot of the gameplay that I've been doing with Riven, more so than other guides. So, what you see right now is me being more of the aggressor in this lane. I'm zoning Lee Sin as much as I can from his CS. And right there, what I did was I waited in the bush for the Sejuani to come near me, and then I stunned her with my Ki Burst, and then I slid out with the shield, and then did my full Broken Wings combo for the best amount of escape. So, but the way I've analyzed Riven and I've seen Riven, there are two ways you can play Riven. You can play more of the, you know, for lack of better terms, you can play the 21-0 or 21-9-0, or you can play the 9-21-0. And what I mean by that is Riven scales wonderfully with AD. However, at the risk of going full AD Riven, you do sacrifice a little bit of tankiness that comes with like a more tanky Riven. Both Rivens are very viable. However, depending on your playstyle, depending on your comfort with Riven, I would recommend people starting out with a more tanky Riven with items such as Sunfire Cape, or I would say even a Warmog. Any kind of thing that's building her to be a real bruiser compared to an Assassin, which is more full AD Riven. And right there, what you saw was me just practicing my Qs to jump over things. You can jump over turrets. It's just a fun little practice that you can do. But anyways, back to the topic. I prefer playing more of a like the AD / kind of like Assassin Riven, just because of the amount of damage she puts out and the comfort that I have with this champion. I'm not afraid to strike fear into the enemy, which is what you need to do with this type of build with Riven. If you go tanky, it's not as required. But with this Riven, with a more AD fragile Riven, you need to be able to see opportunities and tear into it. Right here, I see that I hit level 6 before the Lee Sin. So right away, I go in, activate my ult. I do miss. I accidentally double-clicked my R. And that was a lot of damage missed right there. I could have potentially killed him there. But I see that opportunity where he is level 5 and I'm level 6, and I hop right on it. Those are the things that you do need to see with the more aggressive Riven. However, it has a higher payout. You know, you have a really, really high chance of snowballing compared to just being okay throughout the whole game. I mean, it's not like tank Riven's okay, but it's not anywhere near the damage output. So right here, what I'm doing is I'm warding up the enemy jungle because I see the timer, and I see that it's coming close to the time where his camps should be spawning. So right here, I clear out rates. I see that my mid lane went to base, and that Yasuo was pushing. So I leave my lane, come in for the gank, and right here, we're going to slow this down. So what I did here was I chose to wait a little bit. You see, I come in. We're going to slow it down. I know Yasuo has a dash in his kit, and he can only use it once on a person, and or an enemy unit or enemy champion. So instead of going to him, I let him dash through me because I know that's what he's going to do. So right when he dashes, I do my stun, and then I start my combos. So you see, I do the slide to get in front of him, auto attack, broken wings, auto attack, broken wings again, auto attack, and then go for the last one of broken wings, auto attack and ignite, and then walk off all cool. So you have to be able to know when to use your combos and which pattern. See right there, had I done my shield first to gap close to him, he would have slid through me and we would have created more of a gap between each other. So people with gap closers like Akali, Lee Sin, Yasuo, anyone with like a dash towards you, even Shen after you're taunted, save your gap closes, because they will come to you to escape if they need to. So know when they're going to dash to you and save your Kai burst for then. And then when you're close to them, then you can use all your gap closers to make sure they don't get away. So right here, I'm just trying to... I was CS... or I don't really know... I fought in the minion wave. That's what it was. Don't fight in the minion wave, guys. Doesn't matter how good you become at this game. Minion waves are still minion waves, and they do damage. So right here, I flash. Oh, forgot about this one. This is actually a good play. Right here is a perfect example of seeing an opportunity and ripping into it. So right here, we're going to slow this down and pause. So right here, I knew he was going to throw that Q to try and kill me. So what I did was I flash. After I flash, I slide with my shield to gap close, get the Kai burst for the stun, throwing out the broken wings. I'm just trying to pump out as much damage. Now, had I activated my ult right before I did all that, I would have been able to kill Lee Sin. That was just kind of like an amateur mistake on my part. I should have activated my ult faster, but my reaction kicked in, and the flash wasn't really planned. So the flash and slide and stun were all kind of instinctive to do in the situation, so I didn't really have time to activate my sword before that. But right here, I'm going to base, baiting out the Lee Sin, because as Riven, you can do some incredible baits with her stun and her shield. You're a lot tankier at low health than you think you are. So, but this is another thing where you have to know your limits. As I explained in the Zach video, you know, you have to not be afraid to feed a couple games to learn your champion's limits. And again, that doesn't mean, you know, go 0, 20, and 1. You know, don't do that, obviously, because you're going to get reported, and you're going to be like, oh, a little support told me to do it, and then I'm going to get in trouble. But, no, I'm just kidding. But, seriously, don't go out there and feed, but go out there and learn your limits. Because once you do that, your confidence with the champion goes up, and after your confidence goes up, so does your aggression. And then that's what you need with more AD Riven. So right here, I'm just doing a lot of CSing just to stay in the game. When you're not getting kills, you have to CS. Not just on Riven, but on pretty much everyone. Just because CS is so influential with the items that you're able to build in this game. So another thing that you should know as Riven is don't be afraid to use her ult. Her ult is on a short enough cooldown where you can spam it. I will even use my ult on towers just to take them down that much quicker. So what I will do is I will ult. I will take down the tower till I have about 3 minions left, and then I will broken wings through the minion waves, and then activate my R one last time to clean out the minion wave. So that's a good way to take down towers and clean out minion waves if there's no one really near you. So right here, throwing out the taunts, just laughing at the Lee Sin. Right there, I slide. I just see a slight opportunity where the Lee Sin could have messed up. So right there, activate my ult. Lee Sin got baited. Gragas had good map awareness. I told Ethan to come up, and he was there at the right time, and we were able to walk away with a kill and no deaths. So right here, just going through, jumping over the wall, clearing out white camp. White camp is a lot of gold now, 65 gold, which it doesn't seem that much, but you know, when you break it down, 65 gold is like what, 20 seconds, 25 seconds in the fountain that you could be waiting for an item. So right here, I see the Yasuo, and I told Ethan, ult him towards him. So right here, he baited the fight. Yasuo flashed early. I see this, and what do? I slide instead of waiting for the stun, because I know he has no more escapes. So right here, we're just throwing out the broken wings combo. We're not bothering to auto attack in between because we don't want him to get away, and he's low enough health to where we can do that. With the higher health champions, when you're trying to insta-gib a champion, you know, from 100 to 0, then auto attack in between. But if it was like that Yasuo where he's like less than half health, feel free to just do the full broken wings combo. You don't have to really worry about auto attacking in between for the extra damage, because you're gonna do enough damage to kill him anyways. So that's another instance of knowing how to play Riven in certain occasions. That's why, like, a lot of times I get annoyed when people say, you know, oh, Riven's broken, she needs to get nerfed and all that stuff. I mean, yeah, I'll admit some of her AD ratios are a little bit high, but you still need to have a basic knowledge of the champion in order to play her. Because if you don't, you're gonna be using your things out of sequence, and you're gonna lose a lot of damage output. So, and that's why, like, I think there's a new PBE patch, or there's a new PBE thing nerfing Riven, nerfing some of her ratios and her base damages on her abilities. And I don't want to say like I'm upset at it, because I mean it is what it is. You know, you can't really argue with it, but I do feel like she's getting a lot of persecution without people really understanding what they're saying, compared to just like regurgitating what other people are saying about her. So right here, I spend a lot of time in Tribrush, because I think that Lee Sin is going to be coming up through the jungle to meet me, because I was hitting his tower, but he went to go base, so I ended up spending a little bit of time here because I'm kill hungry and I want the insta-gibs to happen. I'm 3-0 right now, and I'm trying to get big. So right here, throwing down the CS, and I see Lee Sin throw his Q. Just slide out of that. I'm just showing him that I am going to be in this lane, and I'll be the aggressor in this lane. And if you do that, then you're fine as an aggressive Riven. So right here, I take this time out. He's under tower CSing, so I figure let me go do Sejuani's doubles. And what do you know, Sejuani comes up. But I was willing to fight her until I saw Lee Sin was coming. So what I did was I started getting away. Right here, juke through the bush, because I predicted Lee Sin was going to try and hit me through that. And those are just easy escapes. So right here, it was a good thing that I went through the jungle and I got chased, because the team fight just broke out. So I'm going to explain this team fight kind of broken down, because as Riven, it's kind of hard to know exactly what you're doing in team fights. A lot of the newer Rivens just, Q, 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 W. I'm a good Riven. You know, it's not like that. So right here, one of the key things that you want to be able to see as an aggressive Riven is your targets. And you need to be able to shift targets in between fights. So right here, I see the low health Lux. That's obviously going to be my target. So I go in, I throw a Q. Next, I'm focusing on the Vayne, because she's starting to hit my ADC. Right here, I try and get my last Q to knock her up and potentially get a Thresh Flay or something. So right here, throw out my ult. I started seeing some Yasuo crits, so I wanted to get out from the clumping, because I didn't know if Sejuani's ult was up or not. So that's the reason I flash out. And right here, my team cleans up the fight. Ezreal gets a nice double kill, and they're diving the people. Right here, just slide out with my shield. Just get to safety. I'm gonna go over to blue buff. Right there, I could have queued over the wall, but I wanted to save the damage output for the golem, and give it to Ethan over here. And then I'm gonna base. But one thing I was talking to a couple of my friends about is my friend's relatively new to League, and he asked me, you know, what champion should I pick up? Or he's not new to League, but he just returned. And asking if he can go pick up this certain champion and be good with him. And here's my personal view on this. I feel like League of Legends has a lot of hidden things in the game, ingrained in the game, that once you figure out, your ability to pick up and learn champions quickly is multiplied greatly. I'm going to cover a little bit more into that later. Right here, I'm going to break down another team fight. So we're going to slow this down. We're going to check the positioning of everyone. So right here, I see that everyone's clumping on... Who is that? Everyone's clumping on our Nunu. So Vayne gets pulled. I start my combo on Vayne, get the stun off. We make sure that Vayne doesn't make it out, because she is a high damage dealer. So right here, Nunu's getting focused. We all go around. Lux flashes, so instantly I see Lee Sin is my next target. So you see gonna put it on Lee Sin. So right here, I make sure I get my last Q on him. I use the other Qs to gap close, and I get the last Q off on him, and then ult him in order to get the maximum distance closed, and also the maximum amount of damage on him as well as CC. So that's another thing. You want to tend to save your last Q if you're going into a team fight. So if you want to gap close to a team fight, a very efficient combo is Q, Q, E, Q. So Q, Q, E will get you to the fight, and Q will be like your little Malphite ult into the fight. And this is a really good combo that you should learn because it will help you get into the team fight when others think like, oh, Riven's too far out, we should engage, like she's out of position. But QQE, oh no, she's in the middle of us, and then the last Q will hit the knockups. And if you have a Yasuo on your team, then he can ult in and do his business. And then when you knock him up, you can key blast, and that'll stun everyone as well. So there's a lot of potency behind that combo. So right here we're gonna speed it up, just farming up a little bit. But anyways, back onto the topic. I feel like there are concepts, skills, categorizations of learning in this game that you need to do in order to understand and play a set of champions well. And what I mean by this is, so the skill of micromanagement is a skill that is very good to have. And once you learn how to micromanage, you're able to play champions such as Syndra and Orianna much more easily. I don't want to say, yeah, I guess easily. And then there are aggression type champions where you have to learn the skill of aggression and like striking fear into the other person, and then you will understand those champions. And those champions are more bruisers that go all in, like Riven, AD Riven, things like that. So I feel like there are certain keys that you have to be able to understand a set champion. So like once you pick up micromanagement, you unlock group A of champions in order to play them efficiently. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Just a little did you know type deal. So right here, I'm going to fight the Yasuo. So right here, I activate my ult, slide in, stun, auto attack, and then I throw my ult off. The reason I throw my ult off is because I want to make sure I guarantee some of that damage before his wind wall came back up. I could have held it a little longer, but I just wanted to make sure that my slash did some sort of damage onto him before his wind wall came off a cooldown, and I could have potentially missed the execute. And that's the reason why I activated a little early there. And like I said, occasions call for different things. If you can use it as an execute, fine. But if you're going against a Yasuo who has an anything projectile blocker, you might want to do it a little earlier than you planned, just to make sure his thing doesn't come off cooldown. So right here, chilling in base. I think I was texting. But right here. Alright, so let me go into some of her items. You see, one of the first items you pick up is a Brutalizer. And the reason being, it has Armor Pen, it has AD, and it also has cooldown reduction, which on Riven is amazing. 30% and above cooldown reduction Riven is just a tank. Like, she's a monster. Let me go to her abilities. Every 5 seconds, you get a, what is that? 295 damage shield every 5 seconds. And with like, and this is like relatively early too. I don't have much of my damage items. Next, you see I got the Bloodthirster. Bloodthirster is just more of an aggression, just stack as much AD as possible. And the start. The start is very questionable with Riven. Some people prefer going the Dorn's Blade start. I prefer it, honestly, because it does give you that extra bit of lifesteal with the already 4% lifesteal quints that you should have on at the moment. And it does give you that health back on last hitting as well, so it gives you extra lane sustain. It's argued that you can go longsword in 3 pots, and it'd be somewhat of the same thing. Yes, I agree with that, but in the same way, I like the extra amount of health that I get from Dorn's Blade as well. So that is the reason I prefer Dorn's Blade with 1 pot compared to longsword in 3 pots. Just gives me that extra tankiness so that I can brawl it out, level 2 all in. And at level 2, 80 health is a lot more than 80 health at level 18. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason I prefer the longsword. So right here, little team fight breaking out. Right there, you just saw the quick switch over to Lux for my priority. So I'm going to try and gap close. She did get off the stun. Right here is just kind of like a really awkward spot. We couldn't really do anything there. So we just bail out on that fight. That was another instance of being able to change targets right away when you see it happen. So right here we're going through. Okay, so let me finish the items. You see I have a ruby crystal, and I want to turn this ruby crystal into a Kindle gem. And the reason I want Kindle gem is it has the cooldown reduction and it has health to make me a little bit more tanky. Like, for the amount of damage I'm going, it's going to give me a tiny bit of tankiness, and that's going to eventually go into Spirit Visage, because it gives you the augmented healing, gives you some magic resist, things like that. So it's a beneficial thing to have. Right here, you see I'm going to insta-gib the Yasuo, just go in, slide. I mess up the sequencing a little bit, but nevertheless, he still dies relatively fast. Right there was an example where he wind-walled my ultimate. Got knocked back by the Vayne right there. Trying to gap close to her. Right now, everyone's kind of running away from me. I am a 7-0-3 Riven, which is very scary, and they're going to know to target me. So right here, I'm just kind of getting away. There was really no aggression in that fight. If it was more of an aggressive team fight, I would have slowed that one down for you, but that was more me just trying to get away from the Sejuani CC. Right here, backing on their ward, just kind of throwing out the laughs here and there. If you can do something like that, do it. It just kind of messes with the enemy team, and it's kind of entertaining. Next is boots. I prefer to go Merc Treads on Riven just because I'm going to be in the fray, and if I get CC'd, I want to be able to get out of that with some tenacity. Some people say Lucidity is better on a more assassin-based Riven, and I'm not going to argue it could be better, but when it comes to team fights, I need to be more of an asset to my team, because I am sacrificing the little tanky side of me. So if I'm going to engage, I better be able to get out and not cause my team any grief. So that's the reason I choose to go Merc Treads. Right there, turn my Brutalizer into a Black Cleaver. And Black Cleaver goes really well with Riven just because of the amount of auto attacks that you're doing in between your spells. It's a very efficient item to have on her. Another thing that I really like on Riven is the spell weaving and blade weaving, or whatever it's called. Those really go well with Riven. It gets out a lot of damage on the champions when you're going toe to toe with them. So I definitely recommend picking up those masteries. And with it being a 21-9-0 Riven, you have the mastery points to spend on that. So right here, I'm just kind of roaming around for a kill. I saw the Lee Sin go top, and I'm going full blood, just like blood-hungry Riven. I'm going to wait in this brush for him to ward it, because I know he's coming to it. Ward, go out, activate my ult. I didn't predict correctly where he was going to go, so I slid in the wrong direction. Right here, we're going to chase him down. And yes, you should be a little bit, I don't want to say respectful, but right there, like, he flashed. I could have kept going with that, but being 7-0-4, and it's just a normals match, and I don't know. Sounds weird, but I kind of felt bad at a certain degree, so I kind of just backed off after a little bit, and he did put in all chat, you know, please. So you kind of have to admire the moxie behind asking someone to let you live. So we're gonna let him live this time. So the reason I chose to go Black Cleaver was it's an efficient item. It gives you AD, it gives you health, and it gives you cooldown reduction from the Brutalizer. So this is a really good weapon with Riven. She makes really good use of everything that the Black Cleaver offers. So that's the reason I purchased that item. Later on in the game, some things I'll get Spirit Visage. I'll leave it at 30% CDR because you really don't need much more else than that. Damage items, lifesteal. Pretty much you have to just break down her kit. That's the reason I don't go into like item builds as set in stone things. An item build should be based on the match. So you shouldn't think of like item A goes with champion A. You know, you shouldn't think about it that way. You should think about item A goes with situation A. And then build accordingly. So, and then once you start thinking about it in that respect, you're able to start making your own builds in your head, and you don't have to use other guides and stuff like that, which, you know, I kind of want you using my guide, but as far as items are concerned, you should be able to construct your own item sets. So right here, we're going to go on the Lee Sin. He ults me away, so I'm going to keep it at that. I'm just going to leave that fight there because we burned an ult for like 0 health loss. So it was worth it. So right here, we're kind of doing the team fight dance. So Yasuo has his wall down, so I'm not afraid to throw my ult now because I know he doesn't have any projectile blocker. So right here, Nunu is kind of dancing more towards the front line, which I'm waiting for him to go so I can insta-give somebody. Right here, okay, so right here, Thresh throws the hook. I see this, game time. So I'm going to break down my focuses and what I do in this fight, okay? So I see him throw out the death sentence. Right when I see it connect with the Lee Sin, instantly I turn my focus, wait for the Gragas ult to hit, activate my ult, do an auto attack, broken wings. I see there's a group of champions right here. So rather than go this distance from here to here, I see this is much closer, so I start going for this. Yasuo flashes in. I'm not worried about him. I'm going to stop the... I wanted to stop the Sejuani charge because she was going to charge into Nunu and try and stop the absolute zero. Oh, backed up too much. But yeah, she was going to slide into the Nunu and stop the absolute zero. So I slide in. Ah, damn it. Okay. So... Sorry guys, one more time. Let's see if we can get this going. So get the Q off on the Lee Sin. Change focus over to the Yasuo. Right here, Nunu starts absolute zero. She's charging. It's not looking like it's looking like she's more charging here, but instinctively, I wanted to protect this. So you see, I jump towards her. She gets the knock up on me compared to the Nunu. So I stop her from hitting the Nunu, so he gets off his full absolute zero. Wind slash to Sejuani. Pick up some of the fruits of your labor up. Hang on. Hey, when it does this. Okay, wrong guy. All right, there we go. Riven. Okay, so right here we're chasing down the enemies. Just trying to mop up the rest of this team fight. Nunu lands a good ice ball. Go in, auto Q the Lux, and right here, I really want to highlight this. This is a perfect example of calculated aggression, like I've been talking about, is a reoccurring theme for this this guide. So right here, I'm telling my team, okay guys, after this minion, I'm going in. So right here, I hit the minion, take it down. I want to back this up just so you guys can see everything that's happening. Right there. Okay. See, so go in. Minion wave comes out. Slide out. Okay. Kill minions. Okay. So right here, I tell my team, all right, after we kill this minion, I am going in on this Vayne. And I know I can take her. I know I have the damage output. So right away, you're going to see me flash, slide for the turret block, and key blast. So right here, hit, flash, slide to block tower, key burst, Q, ignite. So you see the aggression that I had right there. I knew it was going to be successful, so that's why I went for it. So these are some of the things that you have to know with Riven. This guy is going to be wrapping up soon, or the game's going to be wrapping up soon with the surrender. But know your comfort level with Riven and be able to tell if you're going to be able to go the aggressive Riven or more the tanky Riven. This is more of an aggressive Riven guide. I will be more than happy to give you guys a more tanky Riven guide if you guys want it. If not, if you're fine with this guide, let me know. You know, let us know in the comment section. Couple updates at the end. Ethan and I have changed our names in game, so I'm no longer Boozer Blow. I am the name of our channel, capital L, lowercase o, capital L, capital S, Apport. So LOL Support Sean, SEAN. So, and Ethan is LOL Support Ethan. So feel free to give us an ad in game, and we would love to play with you guys. Maybe get some YouTube subscribe videos on YouTube, just for fun, you know, kicks. If we get enough subscribers, community montages are definitely a thing. That and RP giveaways. So please help us out there. We want to give back to the community that's showing us so much love, and we really want to do that. So if you guys could help us out there, that'd be great. And shoot us some ads. We want to play with you guys. We want to hang out with y'all, play some games. We have raid call accounts, so if y'all want to play, if you have raid call, get it. I'll probably put a link in the description just to help you guys out for that. It's a great thing. And other than that, that has been this Riven guide. If you guys have any questions or any comments, please let me know in the comment section, and I'll be glad to respond to those. I usually respond within a day or so. Anything that I missed that you guys could point out, that'd be great. Anything. So anyways, that's this guide. This is your LOL Support, and I am out.